Welcome into another video. It is time for my mock draft 2.0. A lot has happened since my 1.0. We had Trent McDuffie move to the Chiefs, Jalen Waddle move to the Broncos. So 2 new late first round picks for both Kansas City and Miami. We've also had a week and a half of free agency, lots of signings, lots of moves that have impacted the course of this draft class. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this son of a bitch. We're not doing 1 through 16. We're going 1 through 32. We're ripping this thing through. So it's probably going to be a longer video than I normally do for my mock drafts, but we're going 1 through 32. No more breaking this up. Let's talk ball for like 30 minutes. Me and you, folks. That's it. Number 1 overall pick, clear cut by now, Fernando Mendoza. They bring in a nice, shiny, brand new center who got 50% salary raise compared to the next highest paid center. Got like $27 million, which is like, holy shit, Tyler Linderbaum. Good for you, kid. Baltimore was not paying that. They couldn't. That's insane. Good for, they got Max Crosby back. So they're about to have a number 1 overall pick quarterback. Some new offensive line in the mix. We've got plenty of good draft capital. Really good move for the Raiders. Let's go ahead and get into it. Number 2 overall pick. I'm rolling with Arvell Reese, man. I'm rolling with Arvell Reese still. No changes here. He even says he's more of an edge. So I'm at the point now where I'm pretty much just going to be marking him up as an edge rusher. The versatility of him having experience at off-ball linebacker just makes him just gives him that slight edge over your Ruben Bain Jr. and your David Bailey. Like, that's where I'm rolling with Arvell Reese right now and why I think he goes number 2 overall. There's so much mix and match. You know, it's Micah Parsons-esque. You know, and I don't think there's a Myles Garrett level prospect in this class where you just want the straight edge. You want to take the risk on a guy like Arvell Reese. And I love this pick for them. They really did a lot of spending in free agency on defensive linemen. He's their last piece. You know, I know they brought in Joseph Asai. He was with the Bengals. He was a Texas Longhorn. They bring in a guy like Arvell Reese to be that last piece to their defensive line. I really like that kind of move. Not last piece, but a big piece to their defensive line. Number 3 overall, I'm going with Ruben Bain Jr. I think it's going to be Ruben Bain Jr. I just think that's where the tea leaves are moving right now. Ruben Bain is getting a lot of love, and I don't blame him. I mean, this guy's a force to be reckoned with. He's a monster. This is a guy who's climbed into the boards with the insane production that he had this year, from start to finish, even into the national championship game. I know they lost, but Ruben Bain had a really good game in the Natty, and I think this is a great move, a great future move for the Arizona Cardinals. I know a lot of people see them selecting a quarterback early in the second round, a Ty Simpson selection maybe. I don't see why you do it. I say you continue to build up this defensive line this year, in this defense this year, and just suck next year. I mean, you're in a division with the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. It is okay to have another 2-win season next year and find yourself in a premier position to snag a quarterback in what's expected to be a loaded quarterback class. I don't understand why you spend your second round compensation on a coin flip, in my opinion, in Ty Simpson, when you could just have a good pick next year. That's where I'm kind of feeling with the Arizona Cardinals. Number 4 overall, if free agency told me one thing, it's that Jeremiah Love is not making it out of the top 5. Maybe, but you have 2 running back needing teams at pick 8 and pick 9, with the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. Spend big money on some not so, well, Ken Walker special, you know, Super Bowl MVP, but I don't think he's a tier 1 running back. Same with ETN. I don't think either of these guys are tier 1 running backs, and their money was essentially tier 1. I think that goes to show you that they don't think Jeremiah Love is going to be there. And you know where he's going to be going? I think he's going to Tennessee. I got him going to the Titans, man. I think that's where the tea leaves are floating right now. Robert Saleh knows the importance of a good running back. Just spent the last year in San Francisco with Christian McCaffrey as their DC. He knows the importance of a good running back. He spent high compensation, not super high compensation, but a second-round pick on Breece Hall. And Breece Hall was one of the bright spots of Robert Saleh's tenure in New York. So he knows the value of a good running back. I think that's where he's going right now. He wants a premier running back, this really good prospect running back in Jeremiah Love, to be paired with Cam Ward, his rookie running back, or his rookie quarterback, or his sophomore quarterback, son of a bitch. Brian Daboll's probably pounding on the table for this guy. He knows the impact that Saquon Barkley had for him in New York and how good it made Daniel Jones look. That's why they paid Daniel Jones all that money. It's this whole thing. I think that they're going Jeremiah Love. Moving on to New York, and speaking of New York, we're going with Sonny Styles Jr. I don't see this unless Saleh comes up and he's like, I want my Fred Warner. I want my Fred Warner for my defense, and select Sonny Styles Jr. or somebody trades up to draft him. I don't see this going any other way. This is just the Harbaugh guy. Said it in my first mock draft, and I'm saying it again. He loves these athletic freaks. You know, he traded for Roquan Smith from the Bears. Same year he drafted Kyle Hamilton. This is kind of the blend. This is kind of that player that's a blend. A guy who could probably play box safety if he wanted to. More than likely going to be in the middle of the defense at the linebacker position. Both running back and linebacker. That's like kind of my buyers beware on this. I'm not pro take a linebacker in the top 10 or take a running back in the top 10. That's just not me. Do I think that they're both top 10 players? Yes, probably. But I do think that you need to beware purchasing a linebacker and a running back in the top 10. It just doesn't seem like championship building to me. That's my thought process on it. Overall, I think that's how it's going to go. I think that's how the tea leaves are moving. Let's go ahead and move into number 6 overall. And this is a player who's just been skyrocketing up the boards. And that's been Roe Freeling. Everybody has Freeling going to the Browns. I gotta stay with the trend. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. He is a true left tackle. He's an athletic freak. It's a guy you're going to want to protect Shedeur Sanders. He needs a tackle. He needs a tackle. Todd Monken needs an athletic tackle. They have a really good run game. And Roe Freeling fits that bill. You know, that's a guy who can move like a tight end. But he's 6'7" and 315 pounds. That's the difference right there. He is flying up the boards. Reminds me a lot of when Darnell Wright with the Bears all of a sudden was in that top 10 range. Look at him. He's played out. He's one of those freak athletic guys with a lot of physical gifts. Monroe Freeling, same thing, jumping up the boards. I think he goes top 10. Sounds like he's going number 6 to the Cleveland Browns is where I have him going. Number 7 overall, I have them going Carnell Tate to the Washington Commanders. Ohio State boys paired up. Terry McLaurin, Carnell Tate. They brought in Van Jefferson, re-signed Traylon Burks and Diami Brown in free agency. That does not scare me away from them selecting Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate's a really good wide receiver prospect. This is going to be, in my opinion, probably the most talented wide receiver on their roster the day he comes in. I've never been a huge Terry McLaurin fan. I think he does the good things right, but I love Carnell Tate. I think he's going to come in and should be their number 1 wide receiver. You could argue that they could go edge rusher and that they maybe should go edge rusher. I don't know if Adofa Owe solves all their problems. They gave him a decent contract in free agency, a 4-year deal. So David Bailey sitting on the board seems like a much better option. But Carnell Tate, they want to give Jaden Daniels a weapon. That's the direction they go in at number 7. Moving on to number 8 overall, I'm rolling with David Bailey to the New Orleans Saints. I think this would be a really good selection for them. Getting him on the other side of Chase Young would be a really good start to the future of their defensive line. You have Brian Breeze in the middle as well. And they've got a running back there now to help out Tyler Shuck. They still have Chris Olave, a good weapon. They focused on getting the offensive line in better form. You know, Taliese Fuaga, better year 2 than year 1. Calvin Banks looks to be their cornerstone left tackle. I'm sure they could focus on the interior a little bit, kick some guys inside. Fuaga more than likely. They could go tackle here. I wouldn't necessarily hate them for that. Locking up your offensive line for years to come. I love that for them. But I think they go David Bailey here. And Brandon Staley really has thrived with good defensive lines. David Bailey really bolsters up their defensive line here. You saw what he was able to do with Bosa and Mack in Los Angeles. I think Bailey's the go-to here. And I think the Saints could be really sneaky if Tyler Shuck takes not even a massive step, but a slight step in year 2. The Saints could be a 8-9 win team, especially with the addition of David Bailey. I would like that for them. Kansas City Chiefs got them taking Francis Maui Goa. You know, Jalen Moore, their right tackle, might be a nice little stopgap for one more year. I think you lock up the right tackle position for the next 5+ years, for the next 5 years of Patrick Mahomes' career right now. I don't understand why you did it, why you wouldn't. He logged 1,022 snaps at Miami at right tackle. This has got to be your go-to guy. Jalen Moore only has 1 year left in his deal. I think Maui Go is good enough to come in and take Jalen Moore's spot in year 1. And then now you're really cooking with some grease there. You got Simmons on the left side. I'm a huge Simmons guy. Maui Go on the right. You still got Smith and Humphrey in the middle. Now we're cooking with some grease. I would love that for Patrick Mahomes. That's a good outlook on your future right there. It's a good outlook on your offensive line future right there. Now you can focus on, with that later round pick, maybe taking a weapon for Mahomes, taking an edge rusher. That's what I really want to see the Kansas City Chiefs do. This is a very important pick for them. This is one of their most important. This is their most important pick of the Patrick Mahomes era, a top 10 selection. They've got to go offensive line. They've got to lock down that right tackle position. Let's go ahead and move into number 10. Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. The addition of Brian Cook doesn't shy me away from Caleb Downs. Your over-the-top guys, go ahead and lock them in. Downs and Cook, I really like the outlook on that a lot. David Bailey, if he's able to slip here, I could see them going edge rusher. They've got to replace Trey Hendrickson. But they brought in Boya Mafe, and I'm a Boya Mafe guy. I think that's a good little edge rush mix. Go ahead and lock in Caleb Downs. Lock in your back-end safeties for the foreseeable future. I think Cook got a 2-year deal, so at least 2 years right there. Downs is also a leader. You know, he's got that Big Ten SEC pedigree with both Alabama and Ohio State. I mean, that's just where you want your guys coming from. And he's going to be a leader on this defense. He's going to be one of the go-to guys on this defense. I love them selecting Caleb Downs here. And then that puts the Miami Dolphins in a really good spot here to select Makai Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. I had them going DB first time around, and I do think that Mansour Delane could still be the selection here. But Malik Willis, you bring him in. You want to see what he's got. A-Chain seems to be off the market, but this guy needs somebody to throw the ball to. You got to go with the wide receiver here. I think Lemon would be great. You know that you're a few years away, right? If you're a Dolphins fan, you just know it. You're tearing it down for a reason. I think it's very smart, absorbing the draft capital. You're doing the right thing if you're a Dolphins fan. You're in a division with Josh Allen, Drake May. It's tough. It's going to be a process to overcome this. This is a good pick here. Select a wide receiver for the next few years. He's not somebody who I think is going to come in and immediately add wins to your season. You know, this is going to be a team who, if Malik Willis doesn't show up and start balling, there's going to be a team who's picking in the top 6 or 7 next year. It's going to be in a position to draft a quarterback. So I like this selection for them. Build yourself a nice little weapon for potentially a future first-round quarterback next year. Or give Malik Willis somebody to throw the ball to if you want to see if he's really got it or not. You have a late-round pick as well where you can focus on the secondary. Let's go ahead and move into pick number 12, Dallas Cowboys. They're going to go with Mansour Delane. They need some help in the secondary. Deron Bland cannot do it all. I've seen they had Reddy Stewart, former Chicago Bear. It's one of their top 3 cornerbacks. This is a team that needs some corners. Mansour Delane comes in right away and is that guy for them. You need a lockdown cornerback there. Bring in Rashawn Gary. They made a couple moves in free agency, but that secondary is a little rough. I like the Mansour Delane selection. Moving on to number 13, Los Angeles Rams. I was really wanting to go wide receiver here, but I think that they're going to go with Spencer Fano. They're going to go with the tackle here. They went all in on their secondary in free agency, trading for Trent McDuffie. Great move, by the way. Signing Jalen Watson. Also another really solid move for them. I love that for the Los Angeles Rams. Bringing in 2 guys from Kansas City. They've fixed their secondary in day one. They've already got a stout defensive line. What do you do here? You could go wide receiver, but I like them going tackle. They have 4 offensive linemen. Contract expires after 2026. After 2026. Your team's already in Super Bowl ready form. You need to start thinking about the future as well. Adding Spencer Fano to that mix, it does that. Even if he doesn't play this year, who cares? He's young, somebody who can fill in next year. Immediately, you let these guys walk. Boom, he's in the lineup. I think that's a really smart decision for the Los Angeles Rams, is bringing in an offensive tackle like Spencer Fano. Number 14 overall. Going with Keldrick Falk out of Auburn for the Baltimore Ravens. They really wanted to pair, well, let's put the quotations on here because we don't know how true this is. They really wanted to pair Max Crosby with Trey Hendrickson together. I don't know how much I'm buying that shit, but you get Keldrick Falk and Trey Hendrickson together. Now you're cooking with some grease. I like them just going defensive line no matter what at 14. First mock draft, I had this Caleb Banks, but broke his foot. He slides a little bit. Going with Keldrick Falk. I think that's the decision they want to go. I could see them going Mesidor. He's on the older side. They're probably going to want a younger guy like Keldrick Falk, and he is very, very young. He doesn't turn 21 until September, I'm pretty sure, which is insane. Like, that is absolutely nuts. So Keldrick Falk is the guy for the Baltimore Ravens here at 14. Somebody who can learn while you got a guy like Trey Hendrickson in there. I think that's a great pick. Speaking of Akeem Mesidor, though, that's where I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going. I have them going with Akeem Mesidor out of Miami. He's 25 years old. It's very scary. But they're not really in a position where they're worried about what's going on in 7 years, you know, where Mesidor's, or at least in 5 years, when you have to pay the guy and he's 30 years old. They are built to compete now. Like, they have to compete now. Who knows how much Baker Mayfield's going to be playing at this level for, and he didn't really have a good 2025 in general. He was beat to hell, but they had a really hot start to their 2025 season and then crashed. They need immediate juice. I think Akeem Mesidor brings some immediate juice for them. He's a local guy as well, born in Canada, but played his last year of high school football just outside Tampa Bay at Clearwater High School. Goes to West Virginia, makes his way to Miami. Florida guy. I think that Mesidor fits in right away, gets some juice on their defensive line right away because they need that. They need somebody who's been there, a lot of reps, done that. I think Mesidor is the perfect fit for Tampa Bay, who needs some immediate juice on their defensive line. Let's go ahead and move into the New York Jets. The first half done, wrapping it up here. And I have them going with Jermod McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. Now, this is, how do I put it? Maybe going to piss off Jets fans, because are you really going to be that happy if you go defense? Probably not. You know, you're probably going to want some offensive weapons in there. You do have Garrett Wilson, and you do have Breece Hall. You could go Ione, the guard out of Penn State, here to make up for Elijah Vera Tucker. You could, but I don't know. Like, do you think like Aaron Glenn is going to be there next year? Like, do you think Geno Smith and Aaron Glenn are going to be there next year? No. Focus on building up that defense, baby. Focus on building up that defense. Boom. Just suck for one more year. Pray that Aaron Glenn sucks for one more year. Find yourself in a position to draft a quarterback again. I get it. I know. It's tough. I'm a Bears fan. I've drafted 3 quarterbacks in the first round in the last 9 years. So I get it. But just, I build up that defense, baby, because then next year when you're in a prime position, you have all these draft picks. You can go offense next year, just like my Chicago Bears did in 2024. Quarterback, wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Defense is juiced. That's what I think the New York Jets should do, because I don't see Aaron Glenn there next year. I don't see him fired like that. Geno Smith is their option right now. I don't see it working out. That's what I'm praying if I'm a Jets fan. Take some defense, build up that defense, and let's move on. Here we go. Detroit Lions. I had them going Monroe Freeling first time around. This time I think they're going to go with Cassius Howell, which is a little bit of a cautious purchase because of the short arms. I get it. But they're really desperate for somebody to be on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson and really bring some pass rush to their defensive line. Hutchinson is a stud. I wouldn't put him in that superstar category. He's a stud. But they need somebody else on the other side of him. They're looking for some juice. They've always been in talks for trading for another pass rusher or landing a guy in free agency. Cassius Howell, they finally do it. They draft Cassius Howell here at 17 to put on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson and hopefully bring some juice to that Detroit Lions pass rush. Let's go ahead and move into number 18. I'm rolling with the same one as I did in mock draft 1.0. I'm rolling with Dylan Thieneman. He's perfect for Brian Flores' defense. He is. He's perfect. It's everything you could imagine. It is perfect. Perfect build, 6 foot 200, 4.35 speed, insane athleticism, can hit people very hard. Lots of great production in 3 years at Purdue and at Oregon. 300 tackles, 8 interceptions, just very consistent player at the safety position. I think that there's a chance he might not even be here at 18 come draft night. Like all around, really sound player with his athleticism and the production. He makes a case for a top 15 guy. And he just makes so much sense for Brian Flores in the Minnesota Vikings. I've talked to Vikings fans who like this is their guy. This is who they want. That's where I got them going at pick 18. Pick 19, Carolina Panthers. Last time I had them going edge rusher, Mesidor, I think. This time around, they're going to go with a weapon. Spent a lot of money on building up that defense. Now, they could very well continue to build up the defensive line. Caden McDonald, a few other pieces still available. This right here, though, Bryce Young brought some juice in 2025. Career highs in touchdowns, passing yards, completion percentage. He brought some juice. There's still a sliver of hope that Bryce Young is the guy moving forward. Bringing in Kenyon Sadiq could really find out if he's going to take that next step into being the franchise guy after this year. You already got Tedderell McMillan there. You bring in Kenyon Sadiq at the tight end position. Freak athlete. He is going to be huge for Bryce Young in a very important year, a very key year, because any slight decline from Bryce Young, he's gone. He is gone. He's out. He is not the franchise guy anymore. Any decline, you need to figure out, you need to give him a little bit more juice. I like Jalen Coker as a wide receiver 2 in Carolina. I do. I'm sure that you maybe want a little extra juice there at wide receiver 2, and Coker's maybe better off as a wide receiver 3. But bringing in Kenyon Sadiq could immediately make him option number 2, Coker option number 3. I like Kenyon Sadiq for the Carolina Panthers in a crucial year for Bryce Young. Let's go ahead and move into pick number 20 for the Dallas Cowboys. I got them going with Caden McDonald, really not solidifying their defensive line, but really boosting it up. They need to go defense. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm picking every single pick. I'm picking a freaking defender. Every single selection. I swear to God I am, because that offense has been Super Bowl ready for years, man. Super Bowl ready for years, especially last year. You bring in George Pickens. Caden McDonald, now he's not the flashy pass rusher interior guy. He's not going to be putting the pressure on your quarterback. But this guy is going to be just sucking up running backs, sucking up the double teams, freeing up your guys to go get the quarterback. This is the guy who's going to be huge on first and second down in the middle of your defensive line next to Quinnen Williams. You got Rashawn Gary in there. You already got Mansour Delane with your earliest selection. I like this for the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys fans are probably going to hate it, but I really do like the selection for them. They traded defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa to the 49ers, so they need somebody else in there right now, and I think Caden McDonald is that guy. Let's go ahead and move into 21 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got them going with Olaviva Vega, Ione, and that's just a Isaac Seumalo. What a mouthful. That's just an Isaac Seumalo replacement right there. There's nothing else to it. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals. He was a big piece of their interior offensive line. Ione steps in right away on day one, and he is their guy for the foreseeable future on the inside. Chargers fans are going to be very upset that he goes right before that, but it is okay. I got them going with Blake Miller, offensive tackle. And, you're like, what the hell? We got Joe out and Rashawn Slater. Kick Blake Miller inside. It's as simple as that to me. I know you bring back Trey Pipkins. I know you bring back Trevor Penning. I know you add Cole Strange. None of those guys really make me feel like Justin Herbert's going to be protected. If I am 49ers front office, I am using all of my resources on offensive line. Move Blake Miller inside. He's a big boy. That's fine. Who cares? Move him inside. I mean, Joe Alt's 6'8". He's like, Blake Miller's like 6'6". He'll be fine. He's smaller. Move him inside. It'll be all right. That's what you got to do. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. They should just, and I really like Blake Miller as a prospect. He's got a lot of reps at right tackle at Clemson, years of service there. This is a guy you just kick inside on the right side, on the left side. It don't matter. And he becomes your day one offensive guard. Maybe you want to sit him for a little bit and let Penning and Cole Strange be the guy in the middle. I know you bring in B addition. You want to sit Blake Miller for a year? That's fine by me. Both of your offensive tackles got hurt last year. I'm spending my resources on offensive line. I don't give a shit if you guys hate the selection or not. I don't. I'm drafting offensive linemen. Maybe Proctor would be better here, more likely to move inside than Blake Miller, but I went with Blake Miller. That's just my personal opinion. Number 23 overall, Philadelphia Eagles. I got them selecting Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. I do think A.J. Brown gets moved. I think that's the way we're leaning. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get moved. The addition of Hollywood Brown just the other day really doesn't scare me all that much, but I think he gets moved. I think A.J. Brown gets moved. You've seen the compensation that the Bears were able to get for DJ Moore, that the Dolphins were able to get for Jalen Waddle. Think if you're going to move A.J. Brown, now's the time to do so. People want a wide receiver, baby, and they're paying some decent capital to go get one. I like this move a lot for the Philadelphia Eagles. When does it happen? I don't know. They say it could be happening sometime around June 1st. Regardless, if it doesn't, you still have A.J. Brown, Jordan Tyson, and Devonta Smith. That ain't too shabby. And Hollywood Brown, your offense, who was pretty much abysmal last year. They brought back Dallas Goedert, and hell yeah, you got Saquon Barkley there. I don't see the issue with it. Then after the season, you can trade A.J. Brown. I don't give a shit. You know, like I like the pick of Jordan Tyson here, regardless if A.J. Brown gets traded or not. Your offense was abysmal last year. You probably want another weapon in there. Should they necessarily probably do it? No, you got Hollywood Brown, who's a good wide receiver 3, but who cares? Draft Jordan Tyson. Get rid of A.J. Brown next year. Keep stacking. Keep stacking. People laughed at the Bears for taking Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. They were like, who the hell is going to be catching these balls? Like, there's so many mouths to feed. You already have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze there. Bears turned around and contract dumped DJ Moore for a second-round pick, and Luther Burden had a really good rookie season as, like, the fourth option in this offense. Colston Loveland looked like a stud. Looks like a top-5 tight end. Yeah, I think the Bears are smart for that, and I think the Eagles would be smart to take a wide receiver at 23. Pick 24 for the Cleveland Browns, their second selection of the first round. I have them going with wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. I had them going tackle and wide receiver in my first mock draft, and I just have them doing the exact same thing except two different players. I have them going with Monroe Freeling and Omar Cooper Jr. this time. Todd Monken really needs to find out if Shadur Sanders is the guy or not. That's just the cold, hard truth. That is what it is. Omar Cooper Jr. looks like a stud. Bringing a weapon like that to your offense could make a lot of noise happen. I like the pick. Omar Cooper Jr., national champion, really had a lot of star-studded moments this year throughout the season. He's going to be big for the Cleveland Browns. Number 25 overall, Chicago Bears. I have them going with the safety out of Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. The Bears let five members of their secondary walk for one-year deals. Now, I don't necessarily hate that decision because they all got one-year deals. And I think that goes to show you what the league views them players, other than Kevin Byard. You know, he only got a one-year deal because he was older. But they bring in Kobe Bryant. You draft Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Boom. There you go. There's your safety duo for the next 3 years. Locked in, solidified. That's what you need to do. The Bears need to draft a starter here. They've got a few holes. If they draft a left tackle here, I don't know if that guarantees them a starting spot. Maybe Ozzie Trapillo's patellar injury heals better than we're expecting, and now we're stuck with him on the bench. And he looked really promising as a left tackle. So I like them going with a solidified starter here at 25, and it needs to be on the defensive side of the ball. Last time I had them going Peter Woods. This time I have them going with the safety out of Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Number 26 overall, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Peter Woods, defensive interior. After the addition of DJ Moore, I don't think that Buffalo is going to focus on wide receiver here at the back end of the first. like I had them going in my mock 1.0. That doesn't mean they necessarily can't. You still got Denzel Boston available here. I don't think that would be a bad selection for them at all. I think they shift the focus to the defensive line. Peter Woods, very talented player, had a really good 2024 season, had a really kind of a big dip in the 2025 year, along with the rest of good old Clemson. But I like Peter Woods here to the Buffalo Bills, getting another piece in that interior defensive line. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers, have them going with offensive tackle Caden Proctor. I like the Caden Proctor selection here for them. Life after Trent Williams could be coming up very soon for them. If it's not this year, kick Proctor inside, kick him back out next year. Very athletic guy, really good in the run game. Little inconsistent in the pass pro sometimes, but I still like him. And he was a really damn solid left tackle. He was. I think he's very valuable for a first-round pick. I think this would be a really good selection, especially if you can kick him inside in year one. Let him learn a little bit. Let him learn the game of the NFL speed a little bit. You still have Trent Williams. Hopefully they can work things out. If not, he's going to have to kind of nut up a little bit and play left tackle in a strong division, but I think he can handle it. I do think Caden Proctor can handle it. Number 28 for the Houston Texans. I kind of wanted to go with Emmanuel Pregnon here for them, but they signed Wyatt Teller. They signed 3 interior offensive linemen in total to multi-year contract extensions. Like, what are we going to do about that? I don't think they go Pregnon anymore. I have them going with Kristen Miller, actually, out of Georgia, kind of bolstering up the interior defensive line a little bit. Little run guy, little run stuffer that DeMeco Ryans can play around with. I like this move for them. You know, they have dominant defensive line in general. Let's continue to add to that defensive line. Why not? You're building up that offensive line. The tackles have gone. I could see them adding a tackle, but it's not a necessity necessarily. I like them boosting up the defensive line. Maybe that's a little bit of a luxury pick with how good their defense is, but another run stuffer in the mix there out of Georgia, Kristen Miller. I like that for them. I don't think that's a bad selection for them. Kansas City Chiefs, second pick of the draft. They're going with the edge rusher, TJ Parker, out of Clemson. Somebody I just drafted with my Bears mock draft 1.0 yesterday. It was a 7-round mock. I don't get to choose who the other team select. Manuel McNeil-Warren was off the board by then. So I went with TJ Parker. This is a guy who offers a lot of juice as a pass rusher. Had an astounding 2024. Saw a lot of double teams, a lot of extra looks in 2025. Play dipped a little bit. I think overall, the talent flashed higher in 2024. They need an edge rusher. I like this as a selection for the Kansas City Chiefs here because I think TJ Parker's motor, he's a 3-down guy. That's something that the Kansas City Chiefs need. They need some more juice on that defensive line. I like them going double trenches here, solidifying their right tackle for the next 5 years, and then adding a pass rusher into the mix. A really good high motor player in TJ Parker. That's exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs need. Moving on to the second pick for the Miami Dolphins here. I got them going with another Clemson player, Avion Terrell, cornerback, AJ Terrell's brother. And I think this is really good for Jeff Hafley. Get Jeff Hafley, one of his guys, in the second level, in his back seven. I think that Terrell, he might be a little undersized, but his coverage skills are no joke. I mean, he's like glue. And I think this would be a really good selection for the Miami Dolphins. Get some help in the backside, get some help on the defensive side of the ball now. Get a nice little cornerback for the future for the next 5 years. Because like we said, this is a process. This is a very long process. So I like this selection a lot for the Miami Dolphins. You get a wide receiver, you get a cornerback, depth positions, important positions, and you're locking that up for the next 5 years. Caleb Banks to the New England Patriots. Now, that might be a little bit of a shocker because you got Barmore there and you got Milton Williams there. But I think about the Philadelphia Eagles, who are rotating Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter. I don't know why your runner-ups in the Super Bowl can't just continue to bolster the defensive line unit. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Caleb Banks has a lot of very freak athletic traits, and his size is off the charts. He broke his foot, so this allows him to slip late into the first round and let the Patriots go out there and grab him. He's big enough where he could probably slide into the 4-5 tech a little bit. More than likely going to be your rotational 3 tech guy. but he's big enough where he can slide outside, and he's fast enough and athletic enough where he can play on the edge a little bit. I really like the selection for the New England Patriots. This offers more juice and more depth to their defensive line. And you're locking up just three really strong guys on the inside for the foreseeable future. I think that'd be a great selection for the New England Patriots. And then same as my mock draft 1.0, I got the Seahawks going with Colton Hood out of Tennessee. I think that, oh, come on. Let's get it down there so I could show the whole list here. I think that especially now that Tariq Woolen is gone, you got to go with the cornerback. Colton Hood, I talked about his physicality, just meshes well with that style of defense played in Seattle. Very, he doesn't have the normal build of a Seattle DB, but he's got the physicality of a Seattle DB. I think he's going to fit well in Mike Macdonald's defense. This is an important position in Mike Macdonald's defense, and it's an important position in the NFL in general. You want to have a lot of depth at the cornerback position. Colton Hood, I like that, especially now that Tariq Woolen is in Philadelphia. This is a good selection for them. Well, there you have it. That wraps up my mock draft 2.0, coming in at 41 minutes long. You love it. I just sat here and talked ball for 41 minutes to myself, and you listened, and I love it so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. I love this shit. We got 2 more mock drafts coming out. I think my next one comes out April, like the second week of April, and then the last one comes out 2 days before the NFL draft. That'll be my final mock draft. I have 2 more Chicago Bears mock drafts left as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below who your team took. If you disagree with me, let me know. Let's talk about it. If you agree with me, let me know why you agree with me. Let's talk about it. Comment. I'm always comment. Please. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.